Do 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 do.
God Daddy's in the building, broadcasting live from a few parts unknown. Joining me as always on the sticks, he's that bad dad of COD. You might know him as Muscle V, but we know him as Dixie.
Yo, yo.
And our executive producer, the man that shirts have forgotten. He is the Pants Man.
What you do?
And you can feel free to ask me anything, for I am your king of COD. I am Jeeves, and I welcome you to another edition of Call of Daddy 2. Tonight is the day of fives, 5-5. We're talking all things 5, Cinco de 5-0. But before we talk anything 5, Muscle V, why don't you remind us what happened last time?
Last time on COD Daddies. After several missed battles due to the meddling hackers, our heroes once again were able to have another drinking episode with Pantsman as a Toastmaster General once again. With the theme of the night being drunk with power, the heroes discussed items that should only be 1 hour long. Moving on to the Ruler Supreme battle, the heroes banned, imprisoned, decided how the subjects would pay tribute to them, raised someone's nobility, and made a world change, all within a 30 to 45 minute time frame. Because the heroes, except for Muscle V, love Joe Chipotle, Pantsman won because he answered the questions. With the heroes continuing envy, the score stands as follows, with Muscle V at 10 and G's at 8. Let's listen in as the heroes continue their battle.
So I know that we try to keep it light and fun in the show, but I just want to get serious for a minute. So Dixie, how are you holding up? I know you have to take on a lot of the brunt of the tech support because you do all the equipment for us, and you really were quivering there at the beginning when you were talking about the hackers. Are you okay? Are you holding up?
You hit a real emotional note with the start of that recap.
It was very emotional. No, I had a couple typos in the very beginning, and that tripped me up a little bit.
I did think there was a chance that you forgot how to read. I thought that was in play.
No, I put a couple words twice. It was not great.
Did you write the recap drunk last night?
No, I wrote it like 20 minutes ago.
Great. You can get us started, by the way, bud. For those of you that didn't join us last night, we had a ton of fun. Like Muscle V said, the old drunk with power. I think something we're probably going to do going forward. I thought that was a lot of fun. Check it out. We hope you join us probably next week to drink with us. But tonight, instead of doing Cinco de Mayo last night, we're also not going to talk about it tonight because we found out collectively we don't know anything about Cinco de Mayo. It would be problematic if we did an episode about it without at least a lot of research. I did, however, do a quick Google to figure out what the hell it actually is. Do you guys know what Cinco de Mayo is about?
No. I was going to say what I thought it was, but then I remembered I'm pretty sure that famously it's not that. I thought it was about Mexican independence, but I think there's actually famously it's not technically like they have a different Independence Day.
Yeah,
in September or something.
Yeah, it's a way different month. Definitely a cold month. I don't remember if it's September. How about you, Muscle V? Do you know what Cinco de Mayo is about?
Isn't it like the Day of the Dead or some shit?
Nope. That's what?
Dia de Muertos?
Yeah, you're not even close.
Dia de Muertos, Cinco de Mayo, Caliente, all the same shit.
Oh my god.
So I'm not going to re-look
This is what we were trying to avoid.
Yeah, right. This is why we didn't do a whole show around it. I did. Apparently, Mexico won, I think it was a battle against France. And the Mexicans in America got mad hype about it. They're like, holy shit, this is amazing. We beat France. France, I think, then ended up winning another battle later. But you know how it is. So Cinco de Mayo. Basically, it's the celebrations actually started here in America. So that's kind of fun.
Genuinely wild. I mean, it's kind of like how St. Patrick's Day has a different flavor in the States than it does in Ireland.
Well, in this case, I think because St. Patrick's Day did happen in Ireland, right? Yeah. So in this case, it actually did start here. Like they were here for the gold rush. And they're just like, holy shit, this is amazing. Mexican pride, baby. Let's go. They probably didn't say that. They probably said it differently, but you know what I mean. And then we all know the tequila and all that jazz because basically food and drink companies co-opted it in like the 60s. They're like, yeah, Cinco de Mayo, let's drink tequila.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it really is a Hallmark holiday.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is based on an actual thing, but yeah, it's a lot of it's interesting how it's developed here. They do celebrate it in the town that they won the victory. I want to say it's like Pueblo or something with a P. But anyway, yeah, that's why we didn't do the bad history on Cinco de Mayo because we are idiots and would have been very offensive, as we just were, probably in many aspects in about 4 minutes. So instead,
that's
we're talking,
out of the way.
Yeah, so we covered that. That's why we're not talking really Cinco de Mayo. Instead, we're just talking the number 5 because it's 5-5. 5's a great number. You guys in on it?
I mean, it's a number.
Yeah, it's fine.
I don't like your guys' attitudes. Do you
It's
know
not
my
a 3.
Do you know my lucky number?
I do not. You have a lucky number.
Everyone
Wait.
does.
Is this the
Everyone
number
does.
you like, or is this like a number you genuinely have a faith that if you see this number, something good is happening?
I don't hear a difference in the question. Yeah, of course. If I see it, it's a sign. Yeah, for sure.
What's the number?
You want to take a guess?
Don't say 5.
I'll give you a hint. It involves a 5.
Don't say 5.
I would never say just 5. That's boring and stupid. Anyone who's lucky number 7's an idiot.
Oh, I know what it is. You're a -5 man.
No, but that would be fun. That would actually be what a great.
What's your
lucky
favorite number? -5.
55.
Oh, you're fun at parties. You're getting closer. No, it's 505. Like the gene.
Your luck is based on Wrangler?
No, mine came first. They decided to change their gene names after my lucky number.
That's
I have no idea.
certainly not true.
I have no idea where it came from. I probably did accidentally read a gene label, but as far as I know, it's always been my lucky number. It would have been my motocross number if I ever got on a moto bike.
So how often do you see 505 on fortune cookies?
It's never come up once. I can't believe it. I've never had a fortune for me.
That's insane.
I mean, I'm inclined to believe, given how a 3-digit number is a big ask for something to see out in the world a lot. So I feel like 505, you one time saw 505 while something good was happening, associate it with goodness, and just never
Maybe.
had any evidence that it couldn't be.
Agree. Well, I mean, you do get 2 shots on the clock. You know, once a day it's 505, or twice a day it's 505.
That's true.
So there's opportunities out there. You got to get a little creative when you have a good lucky number. What's your guys' lucky numbers?
I don't know that I necessarily
Have luck.
have a lucky number other than as somebody who quite enjoyed The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, I've always been fond of 42.
Sure, that's a classic that's a classic over 10 lucky number for that very reason, and it's a funny number, right? 42. Unusual if it wasn't for that movie.
Yeah.
How about you, Muscle? What's yours?
I've always had 4. It's my lucky number.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Copycat.
Always wore 4.
Wait, what?
Jerseys.
Is this real?
Jerseys and stuff. Yeah.
I didn't know. The 4's a horrible number. That's interesting.
Why is it a horrible number?
There's a couple bad numbers. 4 and 6 are primarily just awful numbers. I would avoid them like the plague.
I didn't ask you to name 2 numbers. You already named 1. I want a reason.
5 is super useful. You can count things quickly. It's half a 10. You can do 5 math pretty easy. It's you got your
even numbers, very famously hard to do with math.
Yeah.
Yeah, your answers
Four
are
actually
bullshit.
is kind of tough. The only thing good about
I would say outside of the 5 and 0 digit numbers, I would say 4 is probably your easiest, most
2.
common.
Don't be insane.
Fine.
All of computing is based on 2s. Knock it off.
Which is just 2 of 4.
What? No, 4 is 2 2s.
I meant you. I said it weird, but I meant to say it's just 2 2s is a 4.
Oh, that's not at all what you just said.
No, I know that's not what I said.
That's fun. Okay, 4. I didn't know that that was your number. I've never seen, even though I think I've seen you in a jersey, I would have never clocked that.
Yep.
Because I certainly would have commented on it. Yeah, I think if I was ranking the numbers, I would put it bottom 2, like I said.
Well, we all know your opinion doesn't matter, so.
Wait a minute. When you say ranking the numbers, do you mean the digits, like
Digits, the
1 through
digits, the
Z?
digits.
Okay,
Yeah.
because if you're saying the numbers and in an infinite number of numbers, you're already saying 4, that's bottom 2. Like, that's an impressive and very bold claim.
No, 14 is shit. I mean, 16 shit. 6, 66. Actually, 66 is okay only because it was Lemieux's number, but 666, like, come on. All shit.
I mean, you're just saying numbers at this point.
I am saying a lot of numbers. You know what? Why don't you break up the action? Why don't you get your ad spot out of the way, Muscle there?
Okay.
Pants Man, you'll be pleased to know that we started off with an offer tonight. 0 kills apiece.
All right. With summer just around the corner, there is nothing better than a cold glass of lemonade. Whether you're taking a break from mowing the lawn, coming back from a walk, or just chillaxing. And while you're doing all of these summer activities, there is no better way to stay cool than by wearing your Muscle V Cool Gear tee. These Muscle V's are so cool, they actually keep your body cool using the patented Cool Gear technology. So visit MuscleV.com to get yours today, and don't forget to stay cool.
What a cool ad spot.
It's very cool. I got some real bad news about the hackers.
Oh,
I just
no.
went to musclev.com to check out these cool new options, and I think you might have made a mistake referencing the lemonade, because already they have hacked the site, and it is just a golden shower dedicated site now. That's all it is. Golden showers.
No, that's part of the Muscle V marketing. We decided to go in a nice direction with that.
Oh.
It's a little cohesion.
Well, then never mind. Get it while it's hot, if you know what I mean.
Or cool. Get it while it's cool.
Cool off in a Muscle V.
Oof.
With a golden shower. I guess that'd be a hot shower. Is lemonade a golden shower term?
Well, I did famously coin on Urban Dictionary a phrase, the pocket lemonade. Now, you can still look this up, I'm sure. I haven't checked it recently, but I'm sure it's still there. The pocket lemonade is essentially a word to describe where you're out and quietly and without anybody's knowledge, stick your dick into their pocket and urinate.
What?
Oh.
Preferably at the club.
I think it'd be tough to do it in any other scenario. I would think. I don't know how you'd get away with it.
I was like 17, staying up late with my brother. We had discovered Urban Dictionary and were having a great time. And we wanted to coin something. Yeah.
Well done. I don't know anyone who's contributed to Urban Dictionary other than you. Is it? I still would question shower in that case. I'm not sure that fits, but I do like the phrase. It's a little non-consensual though.
It's a disgusting concept beginning to end. Every part of it's horrendous. But
well, if someone's into it, great. I mean, if 2 people are into it, great.
Well,
rock your pockets with lemonade. That's fine.
So do you have to go home and change afterwards, or do you bring a spare change of clothes?
Yeah, it wouldn't really stay in the pocket, would it? You'd have to have a lining to make that make any sense.
Ugh.
I like though that in your 17-year-old brain, you're just like, yeah, you pee in a pocket, it's gonna stay in the pocket.
Well, I don't think the idea was like, oh, we're gonna fill this pocket up. Like, I don't think
you thought it would just dribble slowly down the leg.
Yeah, I think it was just like the idea that you would not just pee on somebody, but like try to conceal it by doing it into their pocket very, very discreetly.
Till they shrieked out, "I'm being peed on. Where is it coming from?
Where is it coming from?
It's not me." Let me check my pocket. Oh my
By
god,
the
there's a dick
way-
in there.
By the way, if you are a monster and you do this, like, if you're stealthy and quick with getting it put back away, nobody's gonna believe them. Like, it's
That's true.
clearly all over them. Like, of course they peed themselves. Who would believe different?
Did you picture? For some reason I'm only picturing front pockets. Did you picture this a back or front pocket maneuver?
Well, I only really pictured it as a front pocket, but I also only ever pictured it as something you were doing while you were grinding on somebody in the club. So I don't know
Which
how that could possibly be
back pocket would make way more sense.
only sense. Yeah, you'd have to do a weird like side straddle thing that.
I was about to say the nice thing about this in the Me Too era of the world is I shot you in the face, sorry, bud. Is that girls would be mostly exempt because they have useless pockets. It's one of the ways we control them. But I guess if you just
It turns out it's one of the ways they control us.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you can just do it to the back pocket, they're not really exempt. For some reason, we've decided girls can have those.
I thought you say we as if like I'm out there designing pockets.
I'm not sure the consortium of men that come up with women's clothes, but I know men design it. I don't sit on the boards, but let's be honest. If there was a chick on there, they'd be like, let's put pockets in. And everyone would be like, yeah, obviously that makes sense. Pockets are great.
I mean, I am excited for the return because fashion's cyclical. Everything comes back. I'm excited for the return of cargo shorts and just having the biggest pockets possible.
Cargo shorts never left.
I know you think that, buddy.
Oh, yeah, they did. We're rebranding them as tactical shorts.
Not to take another tangent, but another little fun tidbit from my life. I was invited to like a conference in college. It was for my school job, and it was like a thing, and I was told to dress in khakis. That was the advice I was given. Put on some khakis. And I didn't apparently know what khakis were. I just thought that meant tan pants. And so I put on the only tan pants that I had, which were cargo pants. And when I showed up, everybody was like, really? You didn't have any dress pants at all.
They say khakis, right?
But I heard.
I honestly, I don't really know the difference. Why is cargo not khaki? What is khaki?
I think khaki refers to the that tan color. I think it's the color.
Yeah, so
Khaki's
or maybe it's the
color?
material.
Yeah, but why is cargo?
We've rebranded
pants not
tan? Is that what you're saying?
So I'm going to read from the internet now. A textile fabric of a dull brownish yellow color, in particular a strong cotton fabric used in military clothing. So khaki could be cargo pants. It could also be more kind of straight dress pants.
You followed the prompt.
Yeah,
they
you were
just
fine.
said you're just a schlub about
I think it was just like you're that like completely. In fact, that was the night. So I was so separate from fashion and understanding how clothes and style work that I didn't read the room that a professional environment would require like not giant pocket outerwear. And so literally when the girls that I was working with, they saw what I wore to this event, and they already were mocking my poor style. They literally took me to the Old Navy and forced me to buy new clothes because they were just like, you can't keep walking around in life like this. Like, you need better clothes.
That's a pretty bad sign when they're like, Old Navy is going to be this big of an upgrade to your wardrobe.
Exactly.
Like Old Navy, there's some fine clothes, but like I have enough clothes still from Old Navy and I dress like a schlub. So I don't think that's a really bad sign, I think.
Oh, whatever the listeners are envisioning in terms of, and I've talked a few times, we had a whole fashion episode about how I dress.
Your coworkers
back in
feel
college.
Foolish now because you I think won the fashion episode, didn't you?
I would have thought Boo won that one, but
it was close. You guys had a walk off. I think you ended up. No, Boo did win it. He won it in the tiebreaker. You're right.
But yeah, that is. I was way too close to winning that one, given my history with style and fashion.
And to be fair, I think Muscle V had a real chance. He just refused to really give answers. He would give no more than 6 words in a response.
I don't see a problem with that.
Well, the whole point was to list items of clothing. So
No,
go back and listen to that if you haven't checked out. I'm gonna say it's episode 29. Haven't checked, but probably the fashion one. It was pretty fun.
My fashion was, guess what? Episode 29. That is
Boom.
wow.
Booyah, baby. Steel trap up in here.
Did we have a theme to this show? Because I feel like I'm taking us on many a tangent.
We have a theme, and then it's the number 5. Speaking.
Oh, so I have taken us on 5 tangents. Perfect.
Yes, you followed. You were on theme, and you've crushed it. But with that, I've been trying to. In season 2, we've been trying to track some trends, and so I thought I would go to you guys and figure out what's trending 5 in your lives, or if you don't have anything trending 5, what's the best thing that comes in 5s? How about you, Pants Man? You got anything trending 5?
So I am not thinking in the kind of modern world where everything's a trend, everything's fleeting and it's viral today and gone tomorrow. I'm going old school. The best thing that comes in 5s are senses.
Oh.
You got sight, that's the best one, obviously. Touch, that's probably slightly better, you know what I mean. You got hearing, take it or leave it. Smell, I don't even really notice that one. And then you got your taste. That one's also pretty dope. Yeah, nothing. But having all of them together, it really makes you feel like a person. You know what I mean?
So you're really just taking shots at disabled people.
Well, we called it up front. This is going to be an offensive episode, and I just feel like let's just pile on, get it all out early, and the rest of the show will be making up for that and apologizing.
You basically said if you don't have all 5 senses, you're not a real person.
I didn't think this one through, is what I'm saying.
Maybe we should have just talked Cinco de Mayo. I don't know. I don't know if you could have done much worse than that. All right. Apologies to any of you out there that are listening. How about you, Muscle V? What's trending 5 in your life? Also, do you agree or disagree with Pants Man?
I disagree.
You've always said 3 senses is the max you've ever needed. You get overwhelmed.
I actually prefer more senses.
Oh, you're a 6th sense kind of guy.
Or 7 or 8.
You're a sense glutton.
Okay.
What is your 6th sense?
What's your 8th sense?
My 8th sense? I don't know.
A nickel and 3 pennies?
Hey! I love 8 cents. Okay. What's your what's trending 5 for you? Also, are you trying to get us killed? What's happening?
Yeah, I'm going the wrong direction.
Okay, great.
I actually don't have anything.
Nothing
You can't come up with anything.
Okay, nothing has been more frequently 5 in your life, and you don't have a best 5. You can't come up with anything. You've never encountered the number 5 in the world. Are you dead?
No, I'm still alive.
Did you?
I'm still alive.
Were you taking 5
alive.
seconds of? Were you taking 5 seconds of silence? You were the reason we almost died.
Oh, 5 sauce. 5 seconds of summer.
What?
What?
The band 5 seconds of summer.
What is that?
Said the best 5. That's the thing that I just came up with.
No, what is 5 seconds of? Is that a real band?
Yeah.
Is it?
I'm looking into it.
I think so.
Are you just saying stuff?
5 sauce. They call them 5 sauce.
What is
so?
What?
5 Second Summer is absolutely a band. By the way, 5 Sauce is an abbreviation for them, but I think you're misleading us. I thought you were talking about some kind of a barbecue sauce that you like. It's 5 SOS is 5 Sauce.
5 sauce.
It's an Australian pop rock band from Sydney, South Wales, formed in 2011. I find it hard to believe that you I've always known you to be a person that doesn't listen to any music that isn't made within the last 4 years.
When was 5 Sauce?
2011 is when they formed anyway. Maybe they came out with something recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was their When was their big hit? What's a 5 Sauce song you're aware of?
None.
Oh.
Have you heard their music? Like, what is?
Yeah, it sounds
Why did this come into your mind?
because
Yeah,
Jesus
good
talking about
question.
5 seconds of something, and I was like, oh, 5 Sauce.
Well,
I
yeah, but
heard
why
of
did
them.
you make the association? What have you
Have you
heard them?
heard of them?
Yeah, I've heard of them. I've heard their music
Why?
on the radio. You guys don't listen to the radio?
No.
What?
Why would I
Oh,
listen to the
radio.
Yeah,
Where-
the
like in your
radio.
car?
Yeah.
Like, where do you have a radio?
Yeah, my car.
No, I listen to
Good
podcasts.
Lord.
You listen to no,
Why would I
no
listen
radio.
to the radio?
No
Oh,
radio.
Almost never radio.
I haven't even set the stations in my car so that I don't even know what the stations are in this city I'm in.
You guys,
Yeah,
you guys
same.
listen to Elvis Duran in the morning?
Who?
No. No, I don't.
Oh, you guys are terrible people.
No, I have listened to Elvis Duran. It's not a good show. I don't know why people are obsessed with it. It's
Pretty
the
good.
okay. It's like our show is not much worse than Elvis Duran.
I will tell you, they profit. We don't profit.
No, I'm not saying we're the same show. Just quality of content. It's one A, one B.
Okay.
Okay, really confusing pick. I don't like that you know them but don't know them. It's very confusing. I was saying that you took 5 seconds of silence to think, and somehow you came up with 5 Sauce.
Yeah.
So
Seconds of
that's
Summer.
disappointing.
Same thing.
Yeah, I guess at least you didn't offend a large group of people, so that's good, I guess.
Yeah.
Something to say there.
Still winning so far.
So I trending 5 in my life, and it's the best high five. The best 5 is the high five. It's a win-win for me. Who doesn't love a high five? So I guess highs come best in 5s. Who doesn't love a high five? But also,
guess who's raising his hand right now, but not for you to hit it.
George R. Armani.
What?
that was my guess.
That was the weirdest
to
mix of Giorgio Armani and George R. R. Martin I've ever heard, but it works.
Yeah, I realized what I was doing like halfway and was like, just keep
George
going.
R. R. Martin.
It's kind of fun to say.
It's great.
We'll have to do something with that later. Anyway, my daughter is the all-time greatest high fiver. People love it. It is a joy to be around when she does it, and she's happy to dish them out. So it is trending upwards in my life as well.
Here's my
high-
problem with the
high
high
five.
five. Here's
It's
my
awesome.
problem with the high five.
Too fun.
Very young in my life, I've never been a particularly hand-eye coordinated person. But I was taught there is a trick, and it does genuinely work. There is a trick to doing a high five and never missing, which is that you look at the elbow of the other person.
I wish that the advice was just you look at the other person. That's how you nail a 5.
Eye contact. That's how. No, yeah. If you look at their elbow when you're going, you will hit smack in the middle of their hand. The problem is, anytime I've been in a high five situation, I'm so in my head about I gotta look at the elbow that it just makes the whole thing anxiety ridden, and I don't feel good about it ever.
Yeah, you're just bad at it. That's fair. I would feel self-conscious too if I sucked at it. I'm good at it, so I don't have to worry about this. I don't have your problems.
So do you just not
I'm a
high
great
five,
high fiver.
Pants Man?
What?
Do you just not high five then?
I mean, look, I feel about the high five the same way I feel about a handshake. When it is obvious somebody is trying to engage in that, I will oblige them because I will follow social niceties. But I don't understand why we have to do it, and I'm never going to initiate it.
Oh, I hate a handshake. I'm fine with handshakes being I'm super Italian. Handshakes are very popular whenever I go to a family gathering. I don't need it ever.
I was so excited when COVID hit. I'm going to offend more people.
Jesus Christ.
I was excited specifically about the prospect that the handshake would die out, that people would just be like, okay, we don't have to do this ever again. And instead, it feels like people are so eager. Like there are a lot of situations, like social situations, where I don't feel like a handshake even really makes sense. I'm not doing business with you. We're just having a meal or whatever. Like you're at a party I'm at, but it's like now everybody wants to shake my hand again, and I just don't understand why.
Even if we are doing business, I don't need to shake your hand. We
No.
can just have a verbal agreement. Would be fine. We
We
don't
have
need to lock it.
contracts now. It's
You know, we should. I would rather lock it in with a high five. That'd be much
oh
better.
God, you're such a grease monkey.
Because you think about it, like it's a celebratory emotion. It's like, oh, we just landed a deal. High five, not weird handshake.
You know, I would rather do like a pocket lemonade or something, sensible.
Yeah, to each other. Is that like that's how you celebrate? You sneak pee into each other's pants.
Well, you're like, here's what it is. I'm going to give you a scenario. You tell me this would be the best, most wonderful thing. So you're
It would not. Before we start, it would not be.
You're standing, and you're locked in concentration. You're at your standing desk, and you're at your computer, and you're typing away, and you're really working hard. And then all of a sudden, you notice, oh, that's warm and kind of moist. What is that? And then you realize, oh, that's a pocket lemon. I'm getting pocket lemonaded. And then you turn around, and it's Jeeves, and he's there to tell you, hey, man, we got the client. And, you knew that it was going to be good news because pocket lemonade.
It's really tough for me to put myself into this scenario because I've peed on myself now.
Just now, you mean?
No, I'm saying in your scenario because you said if Jeeves was behind me. So for me, in that story, I think I've time traveled. That would be good news.
I was going to come up with a generic name of like somebody from accounting, Greg from accounting. But I couldn't think of a name fast enough. And the first name I was like, I'll use Jeeves. And then as soon as I said it, I was like, oh, Jeeves is one of the three of us. This doesn't work.
I thought you were talking to Muscle V. Why wouldn't you call it a sneak peek?
Because that's a different thing.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. Well, we should get to why I've gathered you here today. So I told you we purposely avoided bad history of Cinco de Mayo. We thought we would offend people. Turns out just talking about the number 5, we will offend people anyway. So we should have just gone with it. But instead, I thought we'd tackle another important group of 5's history. I thought we would tackle the Power Rangers. It was something that came up last night. We all realized we love the Power Rangers because we were children once. And I thought we'd really break down what's going on with them and, some of the more unique aspects of the Power Rangers.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Let's go. Nice. What you Muscle? Are you fired up? You ready to go?
Yeah.
That is as fired up as you get. So you're edge of your seat. I didn't realize this would be such a hot button topic.
Yeah.
Okay, Pantsman, you are our czar tonight, so you get to pick the order.
Well, let's do this. I will go first.
Wow. Okay.
Then Jeeves, and we're gonna finish with our friend Dixie.
The old PJD. Cool. I'm surprised you want to go first, but I assume that means that you have a good handle on the deep, rich history of the Power Rangers.
Well, I did watch it for basically until they made a movie, and then I stopped enjoying the show.
Oh, the movie was great. And
I love the movie. I was over the moon about the movie. I bought the movie. I just once the movie came out, they changed how the show worked. I think they recast it or something, and I just stopped watching the show.
Yeah. But incredible McDonald's toys came with it. All right, anyway. So the first thing we have to address before we get to anything else, it's the most prolific thing about the Power Rangers, I think. It's the very unique suits that they wear. There's a couple of ways you could approach it. I'm going to leave it up to you. Address the history of the Power Rangers suits, if you don't mind.
Yeah, my understanding, and this is, again, my best cobbled together knowledge from around the world, my understanding of the history of how the Power Rangers, and I'm going to speak specifically in lore, not necessarily the production of the show, but just the lore of the show, this children's show. I think that those suits. I mean, they're form fitting. They're very, very, elastic and they're colorful. But I think ultimately they're leather and they're leather gimp suits. These are sex toys that they're wearing. They're wearing sex suits.
I think it's leather, but it still could be a sex suit.
They can be vegan. I don't care. It's clearly meant for go.
Couple questions.
Yeah.
So you think that they're just rocking 5 gimp suits?
I mean, it's what it looks like to me. That's all I'm telling you.
And how does that help them fight crime?
I think that's incidental. I don't think the point of the suit is to be a crime-fighting, monster attacking device. I think that its primary purpose is that it's for kink. And I think that the fact that monsters are showing up and they have to fight them off is really more foreplay than anything. I don't think it's a primary function of the suit. It's just incidental.
Okay, you may not want to cover this question. It may come up later, may not. So it's up to you if you want to answer this one. But do you think these were intended for kink play on Earth, or do you think it was supposed to be like some weird, freaky alien sex party?
I don't know why there needs to be a distinction.
Well, I just when whoever created it, where was their intended location? Was it for Earth or not?
No, I'm answering your question. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it has to be either or.
Sure.
I don't think when you build your own kink suit, it's not because you're going to use it in your house or your lover's house. You're going to want to use it at both, just depending on the situation.
Yes. So you think some alien knew about Earth and was like, this will be great on Earth. This will be great on my home planet. This is going to be amazing.
Look, you don't get that level of tailoring and tight fit, without knowing who you're designing these for. These were custom made for those individuals.
Well, that is actually an interesting part of the suits is that they are clearly magic, right? They do warp into them. I think, right? I don't think they go back to like a bathroom and put them on.
It's hard to say because the thing is, like, if you watch any show, you're not going to get that cutaway scene where they're in the bathroom, right? The bathroom is never going to be a part of the scene. They're just going to skip past that. They're just going to cut away. So, like, it's possible that it's magic. It's possible it's just a jump cut that they were, going out to the locker room, getting a nice hot steam on, and then putting on the suit and returning to fight villains. I don't know.
No one wants to watch the admin of putting on suits.
No, I mean, they show the admin of the Zordon thing getting put. Is that what it's called? The big robot deal. They show that actually get assembled.
We'll get to that one. That's the Megazord.
Okay.
So I think that's interesting. Shit, I lost my. You said too many things. I got lost.
We're doing the suits.
No, I'm aware of that. I think that it is magic that it gets put. I would love to see the locker room scene if they do have to physically put them on. But as far as I'm aware, the only thing that they can take off is the helmet. Like you can't just take off you can't unzip and just be in just the pants of the Power Ranger suit, as far as I understand. I don't think there's zippers even. So I don't know how you would even pretend to get it on and off. It's a full bodysuit, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they did show that locker scene, just imagine the amount of talcum in that locker room.
Well, that's a good point. Even if it's magic, hopefully they've prepared.
What if they put their fists together, magic? You're in the suit. They're dressed in the suit. By the way, they never address if their human clothes are gone or if they're just underneath.
They really don't cover that.
But imagine they can magic it on, but there's no magic it off. There's oh man, okay, we killed them. They all disappeared. All right, let's go back to the locker room. Peel this off.
It'll take 45 minutes to get this off. I really sweat.
I hope we have time to air those out till the next time.
All right. I like that. gimp suit intended for fun. Is that
For
right?
kink.
For kink.
Kink.
All right. Obviously, that isn't correct. It barely makes sense. And it doesn't address a lot of the unique aspects of the suit. So I'll cover a lot of that stuff. There's a couple of ways you could approach this. There's a couple of interesting things here. For one is the pattern, the color choices are confusing, right? You got red, yellow, blue, pink, and black as your starting five, which is an insane group of colors. You don't see that, I think, anywhere else in anything. So I tried to think of how you would come up with that. I think what happened is that people here on Earth use crayons from time to time. And it's somehow, maybe on like one of our space missions or something, crayons made it into space. But you guys know whenever you use crayons, you never have the full pack. Say it's a 12 pack. There's always ever 6 max in there. I'm thinking that's, there was the 5 colors I laid out plus green. And those just were floating through space. And some sort of space god found them and was like, oh my God, this pattern is so cool. That's why it's like that weird diamond pattern that you only see on crayon for some reason. They're like, this is so cool. Let's make suits out of this for our crime fighting people whenever we need, I think space police is what I assume they were intended for. And so that's how you got the weird colors and the pattern. But I do want to also note, like, if you've ever used crayons, the tips are almost always broken. That's why they don't have like cone heads as part of their costume.
I just want to clarify real quick. You're
Uh-huh.
saying the crazy pattern, the wild alien, where could that have possibly come from pattern? We're talking about the diamonds? Like, they're just diamonds. It's not that crazy.
It's a weird pattern, and again, the crazier part is the colors chosen.
Okay.
But yeah, I assume that's where it came from.
I don't know. I guess just because it was so young and it was so formative for me, I never rubbed against the colors. But what do you think, Muscle V? Do you feel like the colors are that weird?
I do not think that they're that weird.
Can you name any other scenario that uses those 5 colors? All right, you've taken your obligatory 5 seconds. Thank you for the show's continuity.
5 SOS.
Five
Five
sauce.
sauce.
5 sauce.
Does 5 sauce use that as their colors?
Probably.
No, no one uses it. That's not a combination of 5 colors you see anywhere else. I mean, Pantsman, try to counter me, but I don't think you're gonna find one.
I'm just on a Google image search of the Power Rangers, and I'm looking at that more recent movie they made. Man,
They've
even
made
the
it.
poster looks terrible.
They've made a shitload. There's been like 400 movies at this point.
Well, they made
There
a
was
bunch of
one.
movies that were like for kids or shit, but this is like the one that they really tried to market like a
Oh,
few
yeah,
years ago
yeah.
with, I don't remember the name of the actress, but she's like a famous actress that was in it.
Before we continue on, I forget why, but somehow Power Rangers was on a TV I was near. I don't think I turned it on or anything, but it was fucking
Sure.
crazy. They had all of the Power Ranger groups from every like iteration at once fighting, and the Green Ranger was there guiding the new group of Power Rangers. It was crazy. And then
I've
then they
heard
all
of
turned
this.
into spirits and floated away. It was fucking nuts.
What?
Yeah, they all turned into spirits and like floated into the universe. It was absolute madness. And then the actual 5 Power Rangers were like, "Yep, that was a normal day."
Well,
Continue on.
when we were like we were the perfect age when we were kids, we saw the original, like genuinely the first season of that
Yes,
show. And I do wonder, like it was on for so long, it might still be on for all I know.
it definitely
And
is.
like every few years they just changed the cast, but also changed like the design slightly of what the Power Rangers looked like. Like I wonder if every like 3 years a new generation is like, no, that's what the Power Rangers are. Like everything else is weird.
They did occasionally get real crazy and actually change the color. Like they would pick instead of like black one year, they would do green as the starting color and stuff. Like weird shit like that. Very minor changes always, but there was changes.
Yeah.
Again, I know it only from watching about 4 minutes of the craziest Power Ranger episode I've ever seen. Anyway, Muscle V, can you clear things up? Why the suits? Why the weird suits? Where do they come from?
Yep. So of course we know that only kids watch the show, and
Okay.
kids aren't very good at remembering names, faces, things like that. So they
Yeah, they're
decided
a lot like you.
they decided to come up with colors that kids already know and put that into their suits. So that way the kid could be like, "Oh my God, this is the greatest Power Ranger, the blue one or the red one or the white one." Obviously, they're not going to say, "Oh, John is the best Power Ranger."
Well, why wouldn't they go green instead of like yellow or black or some of the weirder colors that they've elected to go with?
I mean, it's a new
I think
age,
it's
right?
I think it's pretty clear if you watch that first season. Like some of
Yes,
the colors were picked for unfortunate reasons.
it is problematic. No, that can't be right because we just came up with the real answers.
Also, just a quick sidebar. I'm on Google image search. I'm just looking at random Power Ranger shit. Um,
Okay.
and one of the images that came up was a very small child who is in a Red Ranger costume. Now, if you remember, like, or look up any image of that first season, and it's clearly the first season costume.
Yeah.
They were spandex, they were form fitting, but they were smooth. Like it did not show any suggestion that a muscle was present, right? It was just completely smooth and flat. There was no rippled abs or anything like that.
Yeah,
No
they weren't particularly jacked, the Power Rangers, in season one at
in
least.
this picture, this kid is so jacked. He is all ab.
Is the kid jacked or is the suit jacked?
Well, that's a good question. I assumed it was a really weird choice of a suit that makes the Power Rangers jacked when they're not. But you're right. It's probably just that child has been
Yeah.
hitting the gym.
Because when we were kids, we had no muscles, so we can't relate. But some kids do. Some kids are jacked.
Fair enough.
All right, so you think actually Muscle V is probably the closest then from your deep research you're doing.
Oh God, there's an adult version of the same thing, and he's wearing the helmet. Why?
Equally jacked?
Yeah.
I
Oh,
mean,
that's
Yeah.
fun.
I bought that for Halloween this year, so
That honestly is much better than some of the costumes you've gone with. All right, let's move on. So the next order of business is to discuss an infamous part of the show, and certainly, if you think about it for any amount of seconds, very confusing. You know him as Zordon. What the hell is going on with him? Tell me about him, Pants Man.
Well, so Zordon is famously an alien, and he's basically an old man living in a TV screen.
We don't know that, right? You're informing us. I don't think it's clear that he's old, right?
He's old. He's very old. I
Okay.
mean, he's very old, and I think it's pretty clear when you watch it. Like he seems like an old man. And if you've watched the movie, which I have, there's a scene where it turns out he's kind of like the guy from The Wizard of Oz, like him on the big screen where he's just a big face is not. Spoiler alert! It's not. He's not just a face floating in the air. He's like a frail old man surrounded by crystals, and he's just imposing an image of himself. So anyway,
I forgot that scene existed when I wrote this question.
very old man, preying on young, teenagers, giving them gifts and free things and power,
And power.
lulling them to his lair. We're talking about a pedophile, okay? This guy is a grade A groomer creep.
Which does work well with the GIMP masks, so that does make some sense.
It is all adding up. In fact,
Oh.
I don't want to get. You know what? I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Do
Just gonna leave it there.
you just want to do all of your segments?
Just yeah, he's a real creeper. He's preying on these young people, and kids grow up. Kids grow up and they get older, and that's why they're always no longer his. Oh, that's why there's always a new crew because they're too old for him.
I did think
Creepers
about asking you
moving on.
guys why they're in high school, and now it's starting to make a little more sense. Oh no. Fucking Zordon. I did not know this.
Yeah, he's a real creep.
Nah, thankfully it's the wrong answer, so that's good. But I will say your math checks out.
Well, what do you think happens?
No, I know. I know what happened. So he's notoriously blue, right? He's got a fairly distinctive look. I can only think of one other particularly famous blue person that looks similar vein to him. Zordon's actually Captain Planet's dad.
I mean, I didn't see it coming.
How could you not? So makes there it's a pure likeness, and obviously a weird interest in Earth, and clearly the same magic technology that gets Captain Planet to be summoned through rings is what they use. I forget what they're called. They're like weird uh belt buckle cell phones, whatever the fuck those things are. They have a name. I can't remember what they're called.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The thing
Are you
that
talking
they
about the?
the thing they hold up to transform into the Power Rangers.
Yeah, they're like little coin. They're like little coins.
No, it's not a coin. I used to have the toy. It's like a Game Boy Advanced, but with like their symbol on it. And I think it's actually their Zord symbol.
Why don't you go find the
And
toy and let us know?
well, I don't still have it. I had it as a child. You won't believe this. We got rid of some of our toys, especially the ones that I think that one came from McDonald's as well, probably.
Yeah.
All of my toys from childhood, me and my brothers destroyed. Like none of them
Yeah.
survived to adulthood.
That one was pretty
My-
hardy, but yeah, it didn't survive either.
My sister-in-law, my nieces have so many toys that were my sister-in-law's because she somehow was very delicate with her toys.
My daughter has already destroyed every Lift the Flat book we have, so I don't think there's much hope for her toys, but we'll see. But yeah, so anyway, the same technology for those, I forget the name. It's got some specific name, but whatever it is that zaps on their outfits is the same technology that we summon Captain Planet with. So yeah, hard to refute because it's definitely the answer.
You're introducing a whole other. You're really going like multiple universe here and like saying it's all interconnected in a way that I just don't. I mean, you're comparing a cartoon world to a live action world. I don't know that I see the connections.
Oh, we should do a live action Captain Planet the movie. That's a great idea.
Have you not seen it?
Wait,
It's
is that real?
amazing. It's not like a real movie, but I'm pretty sure I remember watching a like sort of faux trailer for what the movie would be, and it actually stars Don Cheadle as Captain Planet, and it's quite funny.
Oh, that's great.
They also did one of Dora the Explorer.
Oh yeah,
It was great, hilarious.
that does sound great. I'm in on both of those.
So Google those things and have a great old time.
All right, I will do that. What do you think, Muscle B? Is that Captain Planet's dad?
Definitely not.
Why not?
Because the idea came from one Lion King. If you watch Lion King, there's a scene where Mufasa's dead, right? And they have Mufasa come and talk to Simba, and he's kind of in the sky, right? So I think they took that idea from Lion King, and they're like, "Hey, we need a mentor here. Let's do like a Mufasa scene."
What the fuck are you talking about? I mean, I know the scene. How does that relate to Zordon in any way?
Because Zordon just like appears and he talks, kind of similar to what Mufasa did.
You're saying he's a cloud.
Yeah, you're saying when Mufasa showed up in clouds while Simba was crying over a river.
Yep.
That's how they decided to put a face in a tube?
They saw that and they're like, kids love this shit. We gotta put it in the Power Rangers.
It's like the worst scene of that movie. I mean, it's like because it's sad and you're a small child, but
yeah,
I don't know anyone that's like, oh man, that Mufasa in the cloud scene. I fucking love Lion King.
Also,
what a movie.
Not for nothing, but Lion King came out in 1994. The Power Rangers started in 1993.
I mean, that's just math,
they moved.
But...
They moved quick.
Also, I just want to point this out. So I've been Googling furiously. It's called a power morpher. That's the
Uh,
thing they hold.
I wouldn't have guessed that. I mean, I didn't,
And
but I wouldn't have.
we're both right. It is kind of a plastic, like weird kind of large device, kind of like a Game Boy, but it's also got in the center of it a coin,
Oh, all right.
like
That's
a
fun.
big coin thing.
Well,
I only remember the coin because most of my because I watched it many times over as a kid. I watched that movie so many times, and in the movie they have to like get spirit animals instead of dinosaurs,
right.
and they're handed a coin each of them.
I do vaguely remember that now that you're saying it.
Another fun fact, obviously I did a deep dive Power Rangers Google years and years ago, but fun fact, the original casting for that weird half naked lady on that island they go to in that movie originally was cast Mariska Hargitay from SVU.
Yeah, you don't have to say who she's from, of course. Mariska, the weirdest name.
That was
Some
almost her big break.
Some people are super into her.
She's great.
Who actually played that role?
Nobody. I haven't looked it up now, but it's not a name. When I did look it up years ago, when I was randomly Googling this shit, it was not somebody that you would recognize.
Fair enough. Okay, so Muscle V, I wrote Lion King homage, I guess. Your answer is crazy. Okay, Pants Man. We have another character to address. We talked about him in the Power episode. We don't fully know his name. I wrote Alpha. We think that's it. It obviously you've got an old blue guy who gives commands to high schoolers. Naturally, he needs a robotic assistant. Tell me about Alpha. Why he or it? I don't know if it's a he.
Well, it's interesting. I'm Googling it now. It is Alpha. We're right to call it Alpha because it's a robot and there's more than one.
Really?
I think
What?
I think the original was Alpha 5, but they've had an Alpha 6 and an Alpha 7. Maybe more. I don't really know. But yeah, so this is a robot. And again, he's basically Zordon's robot. It's his houseboy. Let's be honest. This is basically his overpriced dildo. This is another sex toy. When the Power Rangers aren't servicing him, it is the robot's job to give him whatever vibration he needs.
So fair enough. Why the shape though? Most of the time, if you create something, you're going to create it roughly in your image. Instead, Alpha 5 has a very distinctive look. So why the shape of this dildo?
Okay, so you know how a human dildo is more or less in the phallic shape of a human dick?
That's what phallic means. Yes.
So Zordon ain't human, but
True.
you can guess at what he's working with
Oh,
based on what Alpha 5 looks like.
oh, they got weird junk, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, and you gotta also imagine, like, why is he always so like nervous and freaked out? Like he was always the kind of like scaredy cat nervous guy. It's because like every time the Power Rangers were around, he knew he would get some, and he would get away from the creep who was trying to use him. And every time they left, he's like, "No, don't go into danger because you're putting me in danger by leaving."
He was always nervous, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I gotta tell you, if that is the shape of Zordon's schlong or whatever respective part, it is an ineffective thing, I would think.
Well, it doesn't have to impregnate you.
True. I'm just saying, like, your amount of contact you could possibly make with that would be. Well, I guess we don't know Zordon.
I gotta
whatever
tell you. I mean, we're having fun here. I'm looking at a picture of Alpha 5. It's not that far off from a dildo. I mean, it's got arms and legs, which is weird, but it's mostly just a body shaped thing with like a dome head.
Yeah, but his head's much bigger than his body, so I would think the body was the shaft, right?
Oh, your ears doesn't look like that? Comically larger?
You might have to go see the doctor for sure. You've got issues, I think.
Oh
Those are
man.
multiple growths. Okay, interesting.
By
So
the way, again, I'm encouraging everybody. If you Google the original Alpha 5, it's clearly just a cheap, thrown together guy in a suit, fake robot they made for a low budget TV show. When they made like I don't know if it was 2017 or what, but like the more recent movie, they redesigned him, and it is just like, what were they thinking when they were designing it? Like, if you think this is like the original was a weird shape for a dildo, this thing, like, it's got kind of a gut, and it's got weird long arms and these two weird beady eyes that come out. Like, it is fucking weird looking.
well, that's fun. I'll have to check it out. Anyway, it is not a dildo. That much I can confirm. So we have a lot of things to cover here, but basically, Alpha 5 is it's an animatronic hamburger, is the general idea, because Zordon is actually super into burgers. And you're probably thinking, well, that's confusing. Why would Captain Planet's dad be super into burgers? And it turns out that Zordon is actually a huge dick when it comes to the planet. That's why he's created these giant robots and shit that destroy multiple parts of the world frequently. He doesn't give a fuck about Earth. He's an alien. Captain Planet is making amends for his dad. So basically, he was just paying homage to one of the Earth's greatest things, which was the hamburger. He got really excited when he made it. That's why Alpha 5 is always like real tittery, because he's got that nervous energy that Zordon just built into him. And yeah, he just loved beef, basically.
Where's
Loved
the beef?
beef. I mean, that he loved beef. That was kind of my answer, but
So okay, we have hit on something. We agree that it's a love of beef. We differ at which particular beef. Uh, Muscle V. I mean, break the tie. What's correct? Is it which beef is right?
I mean, obviously you're both wrong.
Oh,
We've already established that Power Rangers just steals ideas from other movies
you did
or TV
establish that,
shows.
yeah. Kind of. You kind of established that. You also just said kids like color, so not really.
Well, we are establishing it even further because Alpha is a combination of C3PO and R2D2.
What do you mean?
The head is
I mean,
R2D2,
obviously we see C3PO,
and the head is
but
R2D2.
well, I mean, it doesn't look like it, and it
It's
doesn't
round.
talk like it.
It's round.
It is kind of round.
Yeah. It's
Not
there's
really.
really very
established.
little. There's very little R2D2 in there. It's almost all C3PO.
Yeah.
It's almost exactly. They said, "Hey, that C3PO, that was a robot in a thing that worked.
Well,
Let's
if you're
do
going to
that."
combine two, I think maybe if that's the route you're going, they combine C3PO with the with LeVar Burton from Star Trek. He's got that crazy visory thing. So like,
Oh,
let's put his sunglasses onto a robot.
No, I think Star Trek was later.
oh my
It
gosh!
was
There's so much.
absolutely not.
You really have no idea how timelines work.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's just very insane. C3PO plus R. You still feel good about that?
Yeah, I feel amazing. Better than your
Uh,
beef.
Honestly, you could have just stopped at they ripped off they ripped off C3PO, and that would have been like probably more accurate than not.
yeah, they didn't want to get sued for making it like a 1-for-1 likeness of C3PO, so they just jutted out his head.
I will say, if you were just looking at them, okay, I'm going to defend you now, because if you were just looking at them, if you were to give me a picture of C3PO and a picture of R2D2 and say which one does Alpha look more like, I think I would pick R2D2. But
What?
the behavior and the way they talk is all 100% C3PO.
How does he look like R2D2?
Well, he's got
he's got hands.
he's got like the
for one.
round it's the round head that I would
Yeah,
say.
that's what I was saying. The R2D2 is the round head, and the rest is C3PO.
R2D2 is like domed. It's not like a saucer.
It's close
Am I?
enough. You can't plagiarize. Come on now.
I, I agree, but there's no parts of R2D2 on Alpha 5. I don't believe. And again, none of the noises, none of the motions. It's clearly you're dead on with C3PO. You couldn't be more wrong with R2D2. And they didn't. It's not like they went for him to be particularly lovable either. Like that's R2D2's weird charm that no one can explain. I don't think. He doesn't. They don't even go for that. So again, C3PO. I'm in. You got to find a different second. I think. I know you're not going to because I've met you.
Well, because I'm also right. So.
Well. All right.
Well, so I just really don't think the actual inspiration of that character of Alpha 5 had anything more in it other than C3PO. I think that was the only thing they had in their heads.
Probably actually. All right. So we have covered the suits. We've covered Zordon. We've covered Alpha 5. How about the big boss of at least Power Rangers Season 1? I don't recall her being in the movie, but she must have been.
Eureka. She
Eureka.
definitely was.
Eureka the witch. I believe she's a witch.
She was like, I'm pretty sure she was in the movie. She was like sidelined very early in the film.
Definitely wasn't the main.
It was Ooze. Like they I think they brought Ooze back, and then as if he was ever a character before. They brought him back from whatever underworld he was in. And then he immediately like sidelined them and was like, no, I'm in charge now. You go away. And then he was just being goofy the rest of the movie.
All right. Well,
it's not a good film, but I remember a lot about it. It's all
I did not know you were a Power Rangers the movie super fan. This is interesting.
I must have watched that movie 50 times as a kid.
Really? This surprises everyone. Anyway, you should know a lot about her then. So tell us what's Eureka's deal?
Well, here's the thing. In the way it is portrayed to us as a children's television show, she's clearly the villain. The Power Rangers are clearly the heroes, and they're working with Zordon, the guy who's great and everybody's fighting for. The reality, the very sad reality, is that she is trying to protect those poor kids from his abuse. And
interesting tactic.
And she's sending all these. They look like monsters. They look scary. But they're just, really armored, people going to try and rescue and separate this monster, Zordon, from his victims. And it's a real shame that it plays out the way it does.
I don't know what to write here. Lady trying to protect kids.
She's a space cop. That's what I'm saying.
To protect kids. Okay.
Space cop.
A couple of points of contention here, if you don't mind. You called him monster. She literally creates monsters. So I'm not
from
sure.
Your perspective, but she's an alien. So like to her,
she shouts monsters. Go get them, like something like she's like, I've created another monster. Like she goes out of her way to call him that, I believe.
That's what they want you to think.
That's just what she says. Oh, you think the Power Rangers is like propaganda and that's not what actually happened?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. This is a real fucked up version that is trying to keep us from digging in too deep on what Zordon's getting up to.
That's interesting. I like that. I would like to watch that version of a movie. It's like, this has all been a cover-up. And we slowly find out how terrible he is. All right, that fits. It's incorrect, of course. It only makes a tiny bit of sense. You don't protect kids by sending things at them.
Can I just interrupt to say that I love that every round of this, you start by like, okay, I'm making those connections. That makes sense. And then just immediately pivot to, but you're wrong.
Well, again, like no one is going to protect kids by sending monsters at them or whatever you want to call them and have them fight. These monsters that are made out of clay, by the way, like, and then her, I think, putty bad guys, whatever the fuck those are. Literally,
those are more gimps. Those are also gimps.
Both sides are fighting with gimps. That's amazing. Again, it's not correct, but it's funny. I'll give you that much.
Wait, what if? Sorry to hijack your section, but what
Haven't
if
gone.
the
Haven't gone
putties?
yet.
What if they're just like all the Power Rangers that fall out of Zordon's favor? They got too old, and he didn't
Oh,
like them anymore, so he just turned them into putties and set them aside.
that's why they're all sad and gray and pissed off at the current Rangers.
Yeah.
Ah, again, I love it. It's not correct, but I like it. It's a good theory.
You like it as a theory. You don't like that could be a thing that happened.
Yeah, it's a fun thought experiment. It's just nonsense. It's just not correct. Yeah.
Okay, you tell us what you think happened.
So you are partially right in the sense that Eureka is she's actually like the just person who's got a good cause. I don't know if you've seen her hat. It looks ridiculous. It's based on the shape of Bugles, the snack. So what Eureka figured out early on was that she could make a sustainable snack that didn't require any meat consumption in the form of Bugles. And she was trying to push it, and then this dickhead Zordon's like, fuck you, beef's amazing. I don't give a fuck about the earth. Can't say it enough. And so she's like, fuck, I really have to stop this guy. He continually destroys the earth. Like, I need to stop him. I'll come up with any means necessary. So, she sees he's fighting with crayons. She's like, you know what? I'll fight with Play-Doh, and I'll whoop his ass because Play-Doh's way cooler than crayons. And then, it turns out Zordon hires these kids that are also dickheads and end up thwarting her at every turn. But she is definitely the good guy.
So I was Googling it again because you said Bugles, and I had to look that up because it sounds right, but I just wanted to see it. We've just been going with your assumption. Obviously, you did not do any prep when you came up with these things. Your memory is her name was Eureka. Couldn't be more wrong. Her name is Rita Repulsa.
When I wrote it down, I was like, "Is that right? I don't know if that's right."
I didn't remember. It sounded close enough, Eureka, but no, it's Rita.
So that the problem there is I got Eureka's castle and I guess Rita confused.
For sure.
But I assume you have no problem with the actual premise because mine makes tons of sense.
I'm not gonna lie to you. All I really heard was Bugles, and then that was off the races. My brain went in a whole different direction.
It's pretty much the answer. Bugles were a sustainable food, and she wanted to stop Zordon's mass consumption of beef. Pretty much it.
Again, not that far off from what I said.
Just
a different point of view, but I was also saying she was trying to stop him from getting his sweet beef.
That's right.
We're in agreement, just we're completely at odds.
It's just the motivation's really the biggest difference in our two stories. Yes. Okay, Muscle V, set us straight. What?
Yeah, since both of you guys are wrong, clearly. Anybody heard of the Wicked Witch of the West from Wizard of Oz?
Oh boy.
She controls creatures. She sends them out to get Dorothy.
She was famously green.
Does that sound familiar to anyone?
It does, yeah.
Yeah, it does. It reminds me of the Wizard of Oz.
Also stolen by the Power Rangers.
So, really shocking that you didn't go with Zordon and the fuck was his name?
The thing that they clearly ripped off from the Wizard of Oz. Yeah, he didn't go there.
Yeah, you didn't go for the 1-for-1. You saved it for the Wizard of Oz, for the Wicked Witch of the West.
Yep.
Okay. She does. I mean, she is a witch, so I'll give you that.
She controls animals.
Kind of. She doesn't really control animals.
Yeah, she sends them to attack Dorothy.
No, the Wicked Witch of the West does, yeah, but I guess I'll have to change the name. Rita Repulsa does not really control it. She makes monsters, again, but there's not like she doesn't send monkeys at people.
Yeah, but she sends the monsters at the Power Rangers.
Oh, so you're just saying that there's...
It's the same. It's the same thing.
There's a mindless control element to both characters, is what you're saying.
It's 1-for-1.
Okay.
I gotta say, I'm looking at the Wikipedia page for Rita Repulsa, and I gotta tell you, the 2017 movie that they made the one that was really attempting to remake the Power Rangers as a cool new MCU style thing, that failed because it was terrible, I'm sure. That looks more like the Wicked Witch than any of the TV show versions of her. She's dressed in all green, and she's played by Elizabeth Banks for some reason.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's because people hate Elizabeth Banks for some reason. Oh wait, no, I got that. I might have the wrong person. I was thinking of
Knocked
the.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a different person.
yeah. That's just different. That is exactly what I was thinking of. People might not like Elizabeth Banks. I don't know. Uh, that's a fun role.
Oh my, this is a great little piece of trivia. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Rita Repulsa's first ever appearance was in an episode called Day of the Dumpster,
What?
which
Wait,
also happens to be the first episode of the show.
Oh, I was gonna say, if she's not in the first step, that what are they fighting then? There's like, oh, why are we being attacked by aliens? Oh, thank goodness there's another alien to help.
This is so wonderful. I clicked on it, and now there's a caption, and I kind of remember this from like the opening credits or whatever. But it is literally a picture of two guys in really cheap '90s low budget TV show astronaut suits, and they're going next to this weird thing in the ground, and the caption says, "Two astronauts who are on the moon investigate a mysterious dumpster." And I think she comes out of it.
She was like
imprisoned in it.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that.
I don't remember it. I'm just in. Oh, this is crazy. Wait a minute. Sorry. I'm just. You said The Lion King was tied in with this show. Well, I'm going to read you this. The VHS of this episode ranked number 35 in the list of top video sales and number 11 on a list of top kids video sales for the year of 1994. The tie-in 3D read-along audio cassette Day of the Dumpster became the number one seller on Walden Kids, displacing The Lion King.
Oh wow, Muscle V, you might be onto something.
For sure.
Shockingly,
it's not shocking. I already told you it's true.
You did say that. I will give you that. But you might even be right.
I am right.
Oh, fascinating. All right, yeah. This is probably your best pick so far. If you're doing movie comparisons, again, you probably got it right with C-3PO, but then, for some reason decided to keep going.
Which was
I think
accurate.
you were smart and only chose one person this time, so you couldn't fuck it up. That was good. I was the next correct though. Anyway, so we've covered 4 topics so far. Obviously, we've only really scraped the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the Power Rangers. That's why I wanted to give you guys an open category. Just explain anything about the Power Rangers and their uniqueness. The category is totally open. You can delve further into a topic you've already discussed, or you can hit on any of the other numerous weirdness that comes with the Power Rangers. What do you got for us, Pants Man?
Well, they've got the Zords, and then they turn into the Megazord.
That's correct.
And so these are the. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna talk about Zords as well. It makes no sense why you have a group of 5 dinosaurs turn into a robot guy. Makes absolutely no sense.
Well, it makes a lot of sense if you're familiar with the world of kink. So what this is, they're essentially, they start off essentially as furries. So they're going to dress up in the costumes of an animal. They become a T-Rex or whatever. And then so when they combine together, that is basically just a big ol' orgy. They fuck in the form of a man. They just become a man, like I assume furries must. I don't really know how furries work, but yeah. So these are furry costumes, the Zords.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to do the furry thing, why wouldn't they just go with furry suits as their main fighting suit?
Yeah, well, so I know they're not furry, but they're choosing to go as dinosaurs, which are also not furry. So it does make
Yeah,
sense.
that's true. You
So what I've been saying makes total sense and really doesn't need to be questioned further.
I do think you need to the idea is fine. I'm sure there's people out there that fuck as dinosaurs. I think you just have the wrong label.
Oh, you know that like costume, that like blow up costume that makes you look like a
Yeah.
dinosaur? You know, somebody's fucked in that thing.
Oh, definitely. I'm sure many people have. What would you call it? Like dino boning? I don't know. I'm
Um,
gonna well, raptor sex. Huh. That's definitely I never have encountered it in the wild. I'm certain that is a kink people have. You just got to figure out the right label, is all. Your answer
dino
still
slut.
dinos. Your answer still makes no sense. I don't think that I think they fuck as furries and or dinosaurs, I would think, but I don't know. Maybe you're right. I mean, you're not right in this case, but maybe that's what, furries do. I don't know. Um, but no, I'm also gonna hit on the Zords because, like I said, it makes no sense why you would have dinosaurs turn into a man thing. That's nonsense. I racked my brain, like I really couldn't think of why that would be. Somehow I didn't come up with furry sex as the answer.
Weird.
Weird. Yeah. So I just figured, Zordon, he must have been around for a long time. You did establish he's old. He probably ate dinosaur burger and he just misses it. And this is like he's kind of like he's both like paying an homage, being like, oh yeah, I loved dinosaur burger. But he's also like, I'm also a G and I outlived dinosaurs. They can fuck off. So it's kind of like a head on a stick and kind of like a tribute to his favorite food of his olden days. Why they turned into a man, I have no idea. Maybe because man conquered them. I don't know.
He
I
might be
honestly
old
can't.
enough that his original burgers were made out of dinosaurs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I was making it clearer than what you said.
Oh, thank you, because I did kind of ramble. That's fair. Thank you for putting that concisely. Uh, but- well, why say a few words when you can talk forever? So do you agree?
I
Is that
don't
the answer?
agree. It's nonsense. It doesn't make any sense. It's completely ridiculous. But I understand what you're saying. I can clearly articulate what you're saying. It's just nonsense.
Okay.
Because the
Well,
premise starts from the idea that he's a burger fiend, and I just don't see any evidence of that in the show.
what are you talking about?
They're in
Unco-
gimp suits. That's clear. That's
Uncomfortable.
visual. You can see the gimp suit. That happened.
Alpha 5 is clearly based on a burger. Clearly. You can see
It
it in his
doesn't.
face.
He looks as much like a burger as he looks like R2D2, my friend.
R2D2, just a rolling burger. Everyone knows that. George Lucas was super hungry the day he came up with him. All right, Muscle V, set us straight yet again. What's going on? Why or what's your category? Or do you want to cover the Zords for us since that's become the category?
No, I don't want to cover that.
Okay.
Now mine's a little
Can you
far-fetched.
tell us which one's right then about the Zords if you're not going to cover it?
Yeah, you're both wrong.
Great.
Um, mine's a little far-fetched, and don't mind the dates of when this actually happened,
Because you don't have any idea how years work.
but I do know why all of the characters are in high school.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of one High School Musical?
I am
Uh-huh.
excited to find out where this is going.
Very,
They
very
they
confusing
saw
start.
the High School Musical movie and they're like, "Oh my God, high school kids are amazing. We have to have them as Power Rangers because everybody loves watching high school kids."
I think I'm seeing what's happening here. So whereas you and I, Jeeves, watched primarily the first few seasons with the original cast, clearly there was a time travel season. That is what Dixie was watching.
I mean, there probably was. That part is okay.
I'm not sure
but-
what year High School Musical came out, but it has to be like what, the 80s?
I would say at least
80s.
10 years after Power Rangers started.
That's not how I
I would say
remember it.
I would say 2002. So I guess not at least 10 years, but pretty close to the 10-year mark, I would think. Question. Let's assume time travel is real and that's how they came up with it. Make up for the dates. Why did they choose to omit music, a huge part of High School Musical?
The only part of High School.
Really, most of it, yeah.
They didn't like the songs. They only watched it for Zac Efron. Let's be real.
So they said, High School Musical is high schoolers are amazing. I just wish that this musical didn't have any music, and this movie would be tops.
Yeah, they actually tried to get Zac Efron as a Power Ranger, but he declined.
But he was 3, so. By the way, I looked it up. It came out in 2006.
When the Power Rangers came
later
out.
than I thought. 94.
Once again, Power Rangers started in 1993.
93. Oh boy. Yeah, you weren't even close.
Pretty
13
close.
years later.
Pretty close.
Not that close.
Yeah, Zephron probably would have been actually 5 when it came out then. I assume he was 18 when High School Musical came out.
Maybe it's a weird kind of time travel where they can see into the future and watch things from the future. Like they've got a future projecting television, but they can't, like, they're still in 1993. Like they can't hire Zac Efron from 2006 because he's 5.
You don't think those guys would have just been the world's greatest fortune tellers if they had that power?
I mean, they told a lot of great stories. No, they didn't. They were all terrible. But for a 4-year-old, they were great.
I mean, they did the job, right? They did a cheap budget action show that, as long as you don't pay attention to any of the details, is an incredible show.
Well, and also a show with a remarkable cast. Now, this is something that I'm hoping you don't know yet. But so again, the 2017 movie that was not good. I never saw it. I just want to make that clear. I never saw it, but I'm very aware of it.
If it was even slightly good, we all would have seen it. We would have been so hyped.
Right. But you may or may not know that they managed to cast one Mr. Walter White himself, Bryan Cranston, as Zordon in that movie.
Yeah, that's right.
Which might have seemed at what really would have been 2017 kind of the height of his like powers.
Peak of his
like
powers, yeah.
He was really a hot tamale then. He probably still is, but especially then. He could have done anything. Why would he choose to do this of all things, especially considering how bad the movie wound up being? Well, it turns out it was kind of a full circle moment for him because his career started on the Power Rangers. He did perform as many of the monsters. He was the voice of many of the first few seasons monsters.
I thought you were
that's
gonna
amazing.
Say, I thought you were gonna say he was an actual Power Ranger.
No, he was not. But it would have been great. I mean, I like the idea that Bryan Cranston's climbing into those ridiculous rubber suits. He apparently was not. He was just the voice. He wasn't actually physically in them. But it's still funnier to me to imagine him like on the set, just like in a big rubber suit, flailing his arms and making a funny voice.
Oh, that's fun. You know, we just watched the Seinfeld episodes that he's in as the dentist.
Oh yeah, Watley.
Watley, yeah. Good stuff. That's fun. I definitely wouldn't have guessed that those were all Bryan Cranston. Although, man, spoiler alert, he really turns into those monsters himself.
Well, I don't think he did all of them, but he did more than one. He did a good handful of those monsters, I believe.
Yeah, I'm sure they had like 5 or 6 guys.
Yeah.
And I'm sure some were females, probably, maybe.
Probably. One more little piece of Power Rangers trivia for you. And this is really not trivia at all. This is just an anecdote. I met the Black Ranger once.
Zach.
Yeah, I was at Comic-Con in San Diego. And this is the only time I got to go. But I went to that Comic-Con and I was on the floor and I was walking around and I was with some friend of mine. And And we kind of realized, that like it was kind of like we just ran into him. Like he had a booth. He was like signing autographs and stuff. And we ran. It was like, oh my gosh, you're the Black Ranger. Like that's so cool. Like it was exciting. And he said hi to us or whatever. But then he was like, hey, I'm taking a break right now. But if you want to get a picture or an autograph, my booth is right there. In about 50 minutes, I'll be back. $25 for an autograph, 50 for a picture. And we're like, okay, you go to that break, buddy. And just did not stick around for that autograph because that seemed like a lot of money to me.
That is a lot of money for someone's scribbles.
For something I didn't really want.
Yeah.
Like if he had given it to me for free, I don't know if I would have kept it. But it was still cool to see somebody that I recognized from the TV.
Definitely. Okay. Well, we did the job. I don't know if we did it well. I'm gonna quickly recap your guys' picks.
And then I think we should. I think because we always have such a hard time deciding winners for these things. Since Boo has not graced us with his presence tonight, I think the next time we get together and he is present, we should have him hear the recap you're going to give us now, and he gets to vote.
Okay. He can just. Well, he wouldn't vote. He can just pick.
Right. That's what I mean.
Okay.
A vote of one.
You shouldn't tell him who said what. I think
I will not. I don't think it'll be a problem. I think he'll be able to figure out who's who, but let's see. I'll do it without sharing any names.
Right.
So the first person said that the Power Ranger suits are actually secretly gimp suits meant exclusively for kink, and they just happen to work out to be okay crime fighting suits. Zordon, the big man in blue, is actually this old pedo, which is why he loves hanging out with the high school kids. Alpha 5 is actually just his animatronic robot dildo that he uses to pleasure himself when the high schoolers aren't around. Rita, whose name we definitely knew, is actually a lady trying to protect kids by sending monsters out to fight them. And the Zords are just furries that eventually fuck into a man. Pants Man, do you feel good about that?
I mean, I can't say you've said something inaccurate about what I've said.
Yeah, I think I captured it pretty well. Okay. The next person said that the suits are actually just based on crayons. The aliens loved the look of crayons and therefore turned it into a crime-fighting suit. Zordon is actually Captain Planet's daddy-o. However, Captain Planet actually hates his dad because his dad really wanted to destroy the Earth. That's why Alpha is an animatronic burger. Rita is a bugle lover who thinks bugles are sustainable, and that's why they're fighting Zordon. And Zordon used to eat dinosaurs. That's why Zords are dinosaur-shaped. Obviously, that's a correct representation of my own thing.
That was Dino Chicken Nuggets, right?
It was Dino Chicken. Yeah, that's where those come from. Okay. Contestant 3 said that the suit colors are because those are colors kids are familiar with. Zordon is based...
Probably pretty accurate.
Zordon is based on the time that Mufasa was a cloud in The Lion King. Alpha 5 is a combination of C-3PO and R2-D2. Rita is a straight rip off the Wicked Witch of the West. And that the kids are high schoolers because people watched High School Musical and thought those kids should fight crime and not sing. Does that sound right?
W right there.
All right, can't wait to see where Boo goes with that one. I have no idea which one he'll pick or if we'll be able to identify him properly. So again, I don't know if we did well, but we did it. We talked about an incredible group of 5 in the weirdest possible way.
She did it.
All right, let's get out of here before you piss off anyone else, Pants Man. What do you got for us?
I'm staying silent.
That's a good idea. What would Boo say?
Oh, Pants Man wins.
Maybe. Muscle V?
Yeah, clear winner was obviously contestant number 3.
All right. And I want to thank all of you if you've stuck with us. We know this week's been a little rocky, but we managed to at least pump out 2 shows. We won't be seeing you Monday or Tuesday next week. We're hopefully going to have another drink along next Wednesday. We're not sure yet. Maybe we'll do a Thursday episode. We'll see. But until then, we want to remind you guys, 5's an incredible number, and what better way to have 5 than 5 Power Rangers? Cod Daddy's out.